My name's David Diago. I'm the new communications administrator for the Falmouth Communications Center. I got about 20 years of law enforcement experience, 15 as well as a part-time dispatcher. In them 20 years, I did manage a dispatch center for the town of Sturbridge for quite some time. Throughout my career, I just advanced through the ranks, took on a lot of responsibilities, including administrative roles with the agency. My 20th year, I was ready to do something different. I saw the process open up here in the town of Falmouth. Always wanted to come out to the Cape, and I saw the opportunity and I took it. When I arrived in Falmouth, the dispatch center was broken up into two different departments, one for the police department, one for the fire department, so they were totally separate from one another. The communication between two departments was basically a telephone. When the fire department needed the police, they had to pick up a phone, call here, and then get the police en route, and vice versa for the other department. It was challenging. The scheduling was challenging because you're breaking up your staff into two different places. Training was also challenging because you have fire department dispatchers basically trained in fire operations, and the same for police. So trying to, hey, I need somebody to come here, and I can't just put a police dispatcher there because the training wasn't there yet. So that was the priority of me first getting here. On top of that, the fire department wasn't utilizing the dispatch CAD software that we're currently using now, so that was another part of the training for the fire department staff when they got here. So I had to build the fire and EMS side of the CAD software from scratch, and that took several months to complete in itself with the geography, the GIS, and all the fire and EMS districts. So there was a lot of challenging points to this, and but we're there. Everything's been built up. We're doing some minor tweaks as we go along, but I think we're better off than we were back 6 months ago. Well, both the police and fire department are working with antiquated systems, the computer systems, the software, the radio systems, the radio consoles, and it was a perfect timing for both systems to actually be antiquated, because now we could take both departments, merge them into one, and only spend half the money. So we're increasing our services, we're increasing the technology, the information we can provide to not only the citizens, but the first responders out there, and we can do it in a timely manner, more effectively and efficiently. Well, the major advantages is we're allowed to bring many town services under one roof. So DPW could be calling for police stuff or maybe fire stuff. So now everything's under one roof, and we can identify any issues with any of the departments, whether they be Department of Public Works, Animal Control, Marine Services, even for the Sheriff's Department. We can provide overall communications in one room. So we can information share between dispatchers and get the information out much faster than we could before with picking up the phone, dialing the police department or the fire department, waiting for somebody to answer, and then provide them the information. That 1-2 minutes of gap is now taken away, and we can get somebody there much quicker, provide quicker information to the field units and stuff like that. So the technology in itself, we were able to upgrade the CAD system, the radio system, the live GIS mapping now we have in town, we can access here in the dispatch center. So we can pinpoint anything from anywhere and provide that to the first responders and get them within feet of where they need to be. So the technology today is great, and we were fortunate enough to put all that technology in this room to make it work for the citizens. So currently when somebody dials 911, it gets routed into multiple different places. It starts at State Police Middleborough. As long as they're not busy. If not, it goes to Framingham. And then once they determine it's in Barnstable County, it then comes to the Barnstable County Sheriff's Office, and then they relay the call into our center, whether it's police or fire. And at that point, we start processing the call. We do have local numbers that some of our residents who've been here a long time could recognize, and that's the 548-1212, or for the fire department, the 548-2323. Those are non-emergency numbers, but they come directly into the dispatch center. So if somebody just wants to report something that's not much of a priority, my mailbox has been damaged, or I got some vandalism, or things that are not currently taken in progress now, we encourage them to use that in them lines, so they come directly into us and they bypass the state police and the county. In the upcoming months, the state is implementing what's called Next Generation 911, and that's a GIS GPS-based system. So when someone dials 911, it basically captures the latitude and longitude of that cell phone caller, and it automatically transfers that call where it needs to, wherever the jurisdiction of that phone call lies. So somebody dials 911, it's in Barnstable County, it's coming directly here, as opposed to the state police where then it gets routed 2 or 3 more times. So this cuts out the middleman, gets the phone calls here quicker, and we can, then send who we need to send out much quicker. I'm a guru when it comes to technology, so it's all fascinating to me. From the radio systems, we have a multi-band radio system, so we cover anybody who has a radio on this side of Cape Cod. We can monitor, speak to, listen to, whatever it is we need to do, talk to them, we can do that. The computer systems, and you'll see when we get downstairs, is we have a vast amount of monitors downstairs so that we could actively see what we need to see live, as opposed to minimizing clicking screens and then you end up losing your place. So between that, the live MEMA mapping of weather, we can watch live as to what's coming to us, which is nice. From the GIS to mapping every particular segment of this town out. It's the radio console equipment that we've purchased. We know who's talking on the radio when somebody hits the emergency button, we know who it is. We can figure it out much quicker than as opposed to before, where you see an ID numbers, then you got to track an ID number out to whoever it is. So, all them things are now put in place to quickly assess what's going on and to handle it when you need to. Dave Diago again, here at the new dispatch center. To my left is town town manager, Julian Suso, Chief Dunn, and Chief Small with the fire department. Here we're going to introduce you to some of the new equipment that I so much enjoy with all the technology here. As you can see, we're set up with 4 consoles here. Normally we would run with 2. I'm usually the 3rd person here for when it gets busy. But we can accommodate up to 4 live positions, and my office can actually accommodate at the 5th position if it ever comes to that. We hope it doesn't. But as you can see with the monitors, there are 8 monitors to each station. 4 monitors in the middle are our CAD system, which records all our call information, units, and things like that. The other monitors are basically for our mapping, our camera system, the GIS, and any other administrative type tools such as the schedules for the dispatchers and things like that. On the wall here we have 3 large monitors, and the monitors are all set up to do basically anything we want to do or duplicate any of the screens. As you can see the live MEMA mapping there, so we can keep track of any weather coming into not only the state, the region, or just Cape Cod itself. The center screen there, we have GPS on all the police cruisers, so we can monitor all the police cruiser activity. So if we need to pull somebody to go to a call that they're really close to, we have the capabilities of doing that. And then we have the camera systems in place, not only for the police department, but for the fire department as well. And then once the project is complete, we'll be able to monitor all the cameras on all the town buildings right from here. Like I said, the technology here, the furniture here is top notch. I can't brag enough about it. The furniture here is adjustable and can accommodate anybody who wants to stand or if they want to stay seated. Everything is electronic. So it's whatever you're comfortable with. You can sit, you could stand. It's whatever the preferences of the dispatcher. And on the screen is up there, they also have the same duplicating screens here in front of them so that they're not straining their eyes having to look so far away.
We might get a question about the furniture and the arrangement of the furniture and the thought process that goes into this type of a layout, and how does that enhance effectiveness?
Well, the layout is, you don't want to be on top of each other, but yet you want to be close enough to each other so that you could share the information without having to scream across the room. But the layout is intended to reduce a lot of the noise in the room so that you can work your area and not be so overwhelmed with what's going on behind you. All the radio consoles are equipped, but you can use a headset so that you can communicate through the radio system that way, and therefore reduces the noise completely in the room. The phone systems, all the 911 lines, all the admin lines, everything come in on one phone system. So it's just ease of operation. There's no confusion of multiple different telephones for multiple systems. The screen back here that displays all the 911 calls that come in. So not only do we get the phone call, but we also get the latitude, the longitude, the address, the person or business name that's associated with that address, and any other associated information with that 911 call.
And the general public really not seeing any difference from whether the phone call before, prior to going operational here, other than they're just getting one center instead of two?
That's correct. When they're getting transferred here, not to police, not to fire, but they're coming straight here to the dispatch center. Like I said, with the technology now, I'm able to monitor how long my phone calls are lasting, how long it's taking somebody to answer the telephone. For the month of February, I could say we've received over 6,000 phone calls into this center. The average time was 58 seconds they were on the phone with somebody, and the units being dispatched. And that's very well, since the national norm is about 1 minute. So we're right on cue with other dispatch centers across the country, and with the help of the dispatchers, they're doing a wonderful job to maintaining that number, and I know we will continue to do so.
Great. And Dave, I know you touched on this earlier, but maybe since we are here with two of our communications officers, these individuals are highly trained, highly experienced professionals that are a key part of utilizing this equipment. In other words, it's state-of-the-art equipment, but they are integral to making certain that everything functions well with your assistance as administrator, and that they have the proper support, not only furniture, equipment, technology, but even this entire center.
Yes.
It includes a restroom, integral, as well as some areas to be able to take a break, so that they are well supported to do the kind of critical jobs that they're called on to do 24 hours a day.
It's a stressful job. It's a 24-hour day, 7 days a week. We don't have the snowstorm blizzards off. We're still here. They get in their vehicles. They drive here in the snow like the rest of us do, and they keep on working. Nothing drags them down. We've accommodated in every which way possible, like Mr. Suso said, with the kitchen back there, restroom, the vending machines out here. They have the break room outside there as well. If they need something, they ask me, and I'll do everything in my power to get it to them. That's how I look at it, as they work for us. They are the ones that make this center work efficiently, effectively, and successfully, and you have to give them what they need, whether it's the training, whether it's another coffee maker, a microwave, anything that makes their job comfortable, because this is very stressful. Like I said, 60-something hundred calls last month, and the phone calls are ringing 200-300 times a day. That takes a toll on a dispatcher, but the group of people we have, they're doing it correctly, and it's great. They're doing a great job.
And you see a lot of the activity going on behind us.
Yes.
As we speak, so that's indicative of what David just described, that
Yep.
at any moment that phone's going to ring, and our communications officers are in the response mode.
Yes.
And, contacting police officers, firefighters, and having the appropriate response directed and overseen properly.
I just want to thank the town of Falmouth Town Hall for giving me this opportunity to start this from ground up and make it work. And it's successful, it's working, and there's going to be some bumps and bugs that need to be worked out, but for the most part, we're going to provide a better service for the town and the community. Yes, I want to recognize the staff. They've had to put up with this entire transition as well, from being accustomed to working one way and now taking on a totally new responsibility added to what they already had. They put in a lot of time, a lot of effort with the training. They came in, they proactively seeking out the knowledge, and without them, this couldn't work. It really couldn't.
Yeah, we all want to take the opportunity to thank town meeting members, certainly
Yes.
Board of Selectmen, and taxpayers of the Falmouth community particularly, for their support, their trust in us to provide this high level of emergency response services that is all about making their neighborhoods that much safer, supporting quality professionals in the job that they do. And we thank everyone for entrusting their tax dollars to us and allowing us to take this important next step, which sets the bar so much higher in terms of the day-to-day service that's provided to them. So we appreciate their trust in allowing us to act responsibly in the way we've just pointed out with this video.